You wish to understand the universe, said Tesla. Think of energy, frequency, and vibration. The difference between the world we live in and the world that we can live in is all frequency.
The totality of the energy field that we create that draws in our attracted reality. One part of that is the range of energies or vibrations and frequencies that we are accessing. The more expanded that is, the larger our state of awareness, the more our energy field in embodiment is affected by that. That affects what goes out, it affects what comes in. What our energy field contains from all these different influences together makes the magnetic connection which we draw into it. What you put out is what you pull back. Relationships are a vibrational attraction. We draw them in. When we sync with people, we sync with them energetically, you have a relationship. Then for whatever reason, someone might change and their energetic field changes, their magnetism changes or whatever, their vibrational field changes, and suddenly it's not syncing with that person anymore. In the holographic play-out world, we say that relationship has broken down and they've parted. Well, they've parted vibrationally. That's good because you get things from each other and you learn from each other and then, hey, it's time to move on and have other experiences. But it's the vibrational connection that draws them in. It's the same with jobs. It's the same with luck. Why are some people lucky and why are some people unlucky? Because what they're putting out is what they're drawing towards them. I watch in football and sports people. They get so close to winning, but they never quite can win. It's almost like they're frightened of winning. When I observe some of this stuff psychologically, it's almost as if they can't believe that it's possible for them to win. Your life changes in the play-out world of the projected holographic reality because what's projecting it has changed. And so when we put out an intent, this is what I want to do, I want to expand my mind, I want to open my mind, I want to connect the true magnitude of who I am. There are things that come towards you that you don't often like very much, but it's necessary to break down those structures within us so that that intent can be fulfilled. This energy is the energy that creates our reality because it attracts to us a reflection of itself, and what that energy reflects is our inner self, our emotional, spiritual, and mental state. When we feel fear, we attract to us what we most fear. And this is the ultimate evolutionary genius. Because of this system of what we put out is what we get back, we constantly see a reflection of our inner self in our everyday life. Therefore, we can see our inner self in a physical way and learn from the experience and move on. Also, fear is the greatest block on evolution. Whatever area that we fear, that our fear relates to, is a no-go area for our evolution. Because people don't normally say, well, I fear that, I'm going to face it. They go, oh, no, thank you very much, change the subject, not going in there. So this process of drawing to us what we put out means that we have to face what we're putting out, so we can face it and evolve. So, when we fear something, we draw what we fear to us eventually.
This is what we need to transform human reality. The more hate we put out into the world, the more hateful world we have. And this is why music, vibration, has such an impact upon us. It depends whether we're syncing with the frequency or whether we're not. This is why chants are so used, and dance, which creates vibration, by Native Americans and people of the East and others, because they understand that you can impact upon reality by impacting upon the frequency of the space that you're dealing with. When you open your mind and open your heart, your frequency goes up. Provable fact, measurable. You're now being able to hold and access more and more and more information. And thus you become more aware, more knowledgeable, more insightful, more intuitive. And what the system wants is to push us down the other way, so we watch Simon Cowell. Form is information. Our base state is awareness. It doesn't have form, it's just awareness. But we come into the realms of form, and form is created from information. Without the brain, the world is devoid of light, heat, weight, solidity, motion, space, time, or any other imaginable feature. All these phenomena are interactions of transactions of vibrations with a certain arrangement of neurons. People say it can't be done. I've seen it done. People walking across fantastically hot coals that should burn their feet off. But it doesn't. Why? Because if they go through the coals with the perception, here we go again, that they'll get burned because that perception will lead to the decoding of the perception. But when you go into another level of consciousness that is not decoding reality like that, you walk through coals and not get burnt, because an illusion can only burn an illusion if you think it's real. God, this world is so fantastic, and we live such a fraction of it. Information is encoded in what we call light. White light contains all the colors of the spectrum. Isaac Newton called the rainbow a spectrum because out of the Latin word for apparition or phantom, that's where we get the word spectre from. And colors are frequencies. Illusion, colors are frequencies. They're just different frequencies, and when we decode them, we see that color. And we think those flowers are red and yellow. They're not. Nothing has any color. The color is decided in our perception of it by whether it reflects certain frequencies or whether it absorbs certain frequencies. We're only seeing light that reflects. Thus, we're only seeing that color which is reflected by the object. Therefore, it seems to be that color. This is the scale of the illusion that we think is real. And even, some of these various things that you come across in science, hydrogen and carbon and nitrogen, you break them down on one level and they look like barcodes, because this is a virtual reality universe. And light radiation is information, and the frequency or wavelength vibration is its delivery system. The information dictates the frequency. So, I'm delivering information. I love you! And I mean it. That's the frequency. And thus, the information is being delivered, and as it's being delivered, it travels through light on a particular frequency relating to its nature. Dr. Emoto, the great man from Japan, what a fantastic contribution he made in his work to the understanding of the nature of reality. Because what he did was he took water, put it into little containers, and he would apply to that water sounds or words, and then he would freeze it very quickly. I've been to his place in Tokyo where he did it, and then he would photograph the water crystals in that water. And the difference in the crystals corresponding with what the water came into contact with is absolutely fantastic. This water had love and thanks written on the side of it. Beautiful. Geometrically beautiful. Harmony, natural order. This had hate on it. Look at it. And people say, well, how does that work when you put words on water and that happens? Simple. The words written are merely the holographic expression of waveform information. So those words are vibrating to a certain frequency. We see them holographically, but they're vibrating to a certain frequency. And that frequency impacts itself upon the water, and when you freeze it and photograph it, you see the impact. I'm speaking now. People think I'm speaking words. I'm not really speaking words. I am creating information fields with my vocal cords, and between me and you, there is no words. The words only come when you decode the information field that I'm sending out, and vice versa when you speak to me, when anyone speaks to anybody. It's all frequency, because we are energy fields. Let's look at the auric field. It's photographable. And if it's a vibe that can impact negatively or disruptively, distortedly upon your energy field, you can have mental and emotional and what we call physical expressions as the hologram is affected. Because water in its base form is an waveform information field, like everything else. At the Aerospace Institute in Stuttgart, Germany, they've developed a way of photographing information in water droplets. You go on YouTube and put those words in, water has memory. I'm sure it's still there. You'll be able to see the video. And so what they did is they put a flower in a big tank of water. Then they took the flower out, and then they photographed droplets from the tank. And in each droplet was the flower. They then asked the people from the local community to come in, and they had a big tank of water, and they asked them to take 4 droplets from the big tank and put it into a little dish with their name on. And what they found was that each person who did it, all 4 sets with each person, or all the sets, were more than 4, were different. But all 4 taken by the individual were basically the same. Why? Because the very action of taking a droplet, putting it in a dish, the energy field of the unique individual was impacted upon the water. This is the impact that we're having on reality all the time while we think we are powerless.